if we don't have a clear path to victory. Accordingly, I am today suspending my campaign.
You know how the story go. You done shot my style, you done stole my flow. You done seen me out, you can snow hello. And you wonder why, man, you know.
Welcome, everybody, to the Pipala show. Before anybody comes at me in the comments, I would just like to explain that no, I'm not balding. This is not a receding hairline. I've had a naturally big forehead my whole life, and so I've been growing my hair out the past couple weeks. And originally what I thought I was going to do was slowly introduce the public, or like the people that I'm around all the time, to my hairline. Because I wear it with like my hair going down this way, but I just said screw it. So this is what it is now. I'm slicking it back now until I get a hair. Who knows? But don't make fun of me. There's really no reason for that. It's been a good couple of days. I will say I did have one setback. My butt started to bleed again, so that wasn't fun. I started drinking Bucked Up, the energy drink, and I applied for a sponsorship, but if they see this, then it's not happening. My butt started to bleed a couple days after I started drinking Bucked Up, and so yeah, wasn't a fun couple days in the bathroom. And my girlfriend would usually say something to the degree of like, ew, stop saying that, what are you doing, you're disgusting. Well, you're not here now. She's not here. She can't tell me that I can't say that I'm disgusting, and ask me what's wrong with me. Same with my mom to an extent. She's working out downstairs, doing something. Probably has Fox News on. Just trying to get after it on the treadmill. So hopefully nobody hears that. But other than that, it's been a great couple of days. Something incredible happened, incredibly predictable. That is, Ron DeSantis suspended his presidential campaign, which, if anybody thought he was going to win, that's crazy. So real quick, we're just going to, play something and pay our respects to Ron DeSantis and Ron DeSantis' presidential campaign. So here we go. Realistically, though, did anybody think he was going to win the Republican nomination? Realistically, did anybody think he was going to win? If you did, you're crazy. We all knew who was going to win the nomination, and so far now it's just Trump and Nikki Haley. But realistically, come on, man. Dirty Don? Are you kidding me? You think Dirty Don's not going to win the nomination? Get out of here, bro. You're out of your mind if you don't think he's winning it. So real quick here, we're just gonna read a little article. We're just gonna read it and we're gonna see where it takes us. But in summary, here we go. So it says right here, DeSantis drops out of presidential race, leaving Trump and Haley to face off in New Hampshire. And so basically, this was after the Iowa caucus. DeSantis didn't have a real shot, to be honest with you. And this came after Vivek Ramaswamy dropped out, as well as other Republicans that just weren't going to make it. The article. So, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis suspended his Republican presidential campaign on Sunday, which, when they say suspend, it's really a politically correct way of saying they dropped out. So just keep that in mind. He suspended his presidential campaign on Sunday, ending his 2024 White House bid just before the New Hampshire primary while endorsing his bitter rival, Donald Trump. So he spent the past, I would like to say, the greater part of the last year and a half or so. DeSantis was afraid to trash Trump. DeSantis, if you live under a rock, DeSantis is the governor of Florida. And so he got really popular during COVID for his opposition to the lockdowns, and a lot of people like that, including myself. But over the past year or so, people have just found like his quirks. He's not good speaking. He's a terrible person to be like relatable to. He had this like controversy where he wore these like really high boots, and like people made fun of him, and he didn't know how to take it. He doesn't seem like he deals with criticism very well. He just doesn't seem like a real person. He seems like a robot, you know. He's good in like 1 minute spurts, but then when you really like watch him at a debate, which I didn't, because Dirty Dom wasn't there, so why would I watch? But DeSantis just like in segments like after like a minute long, he just doesn't look like a really relatable guy. He doesn't really look like he's like a good fit. Like he's unlikable, and so that's just what came off to me. It says right here, so just before the New Hampshire primary, he endorsed Donald Trump. The decision leaves Trump and former UN Ambassador Nikki Haley as the last major candidates remaining in the race ahead of Tuesday's New Hampshire primary. So tomorrow. This is the scenario Trump foes and the GOP have long sought, raising the stakes for this weekend's contest as the party's last chance to stop the former president who has so far dominated the race. I mean, he has. This is true. But as some Trump critics cheered, DeSantis nodded towards Trump's primary dominance and attacked Haley in an exit video he posted on social media. So now we're going to watch it.
Tonight, the Republican presidential field one candidate smaller.
I can't ask our supporters to volunteer their time and donate their resources if we don't have a clear path to victory.
Florida Governor Ron DeSantis dropping out of the race.
Accordingly, I am today suspending my campaign.
The decision coming just days after DeSantis committed to staying in through the South Carolina primary at the end of February.
Are you in through the end of March? Do you have the money and the staff and the ability to compete through the end of March?
Yes, on that, 100%. We can do that.
DeSantis...
The guy asked DeSantis if he was going to like still have his presidential campaign through March, and it's January 22nd today, and he's like, oh, yeah, but he literally just dropped out today, or yesterday.
The top contender to take on former President Trump, now endorsing his rival.
Trump is superior to the current incumbent, Joe Biden. That is clear. I signed a pledge to support the Republican nominee, and I will honor that pledge.
Isn't that like the ultimate bitch move too? I mean, like DeSantis was like, he spent the past year and a half arguably like kind of taking subtle shots at Trump, but not trying to like really insult his character too much, because Dirty Don just he's got a chokehold on the Republican Party. He's got that thing by the balls, bro. And so DeSantis like more or less try and take like subtle shots because he didn't want to offend Trump too much, but he also didn't want to seem like, oh, you know, this is my buddy, because he's running against him. But it's just so funny now he's caving to Dirty Don, and I don't know, DeSantis didn't have the balls to stand up to Trump, I think, personally, and dish like out like a real attack throughout his whole presidential campaign or whatever it was. But this is just a massive L for him, because like he was one of the he was a star during COVID for the Republican Party. Just like the way he dealt with it, the way he dealt with the media, like these quick 1 minute spurts, boom, 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 boom. He was just going, and he had the receipts too. He was a great leader during COVID if you're a Republican. But it's a massive L for him. We're gonna continue.
The governor had staked his campaign on success in Iowa, pouring the vast majority
Also,
of resources
his wife, kinda hot. That's all I'll say.
into the Hawkeye state and still losing to Trump by 30 points. Late today, Donald Trump said in a statement he was, quote, honored to have his endorsement.
Full of shit.
I want to say to Ron, he ran a great race. He's been a good governor.
Nikki Haley now remains the lone contender to the former president. With the New Hampshire primary just 2 days away, Haley hammering Trump again today.
I don't know if he was confused. I don't know what happened, but it should be enough to send us a warning sign.
After Mr. Trump appeared to repeatedly refer to Nikki Haley instead of former Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi.
Nikki Haley is in charge of security. We offered her 10,000 people, soldiers, National Guard, whatever they want. They turned it down.
Mr. Trump later saying,
Are they trying to say that Trump is like getting old and losing his memory? Wouldn't that be something? If Trump was actually like losing his memory and getting dementia like Biden, that would be so crazy. I'm not cheering for that. I'm not cheering for anybody to get dementia. I'm just saying, Donald Trump, a dirty Don with dementia, imagine the crazy shit he would say then. You know? We're going to continue.
My mind is stronger now than it was 25 years ago.
the latest poll from CNN and the University of New Hampshire has Trump at 50%, Haley at 39%. The question now, where that 6% supporting DeSantis goes.
And Dasha's with us now in Manchester, New Hampshire. Dasha, do we expect Governor DeSantis to show up at a Trump rally anytime soon? Kate, a campaign...
All right, we're not listening to this bullshit. What do I think? I think that DeSantis probably shouldn't have run in the first place. I doubt he gets a cabinet position because he's still the governor of Florida. And so his term ends in 2026, if I'm correct there. But now it's just Trump and Nikki Haley. So, I mean, former governor of South Carolina, UN ambassador, those are her credentials. She's been accused of being a World Economic Forum asset. I don't know. Vivek Ramaswamy accused her of being a World Economic Forum asset, and she didn't deny anything, which was kind of weird. And that she supports like a one world government. That's what he accused her of. She didn't deny it. So I don't know, man. There's something about her origin too. I think she has like an Indian or Native American origin. Let me just see right here. First, I want to talk about her husband. So, her husband was in the National Army Guard. I don't know. Vivek also attacked Nikki Haley on her husband, but I don't know. Let's look up her origin real quick. Nikki Haley origin. Like family origin, family history type thing. Alrighty. So Haley, the former South Carolina governor, was born in Bamberg, South Carolina as Nimarata Nikki Nimarata Nikki Rendawa. Wow. She has always gone by her middle name, Nikki. She took up the surname Haley upon her marriage in 1996. Her nationality is American, but like, isn't she Indian? I think she's Indian. Here we go. South Asian heritage. It says right here, okay, Nikki Haley's South Asian heritage is a historic part of her presidential campaign. Well, then why hasn't she talked about it? With her announcement this week that she is running for president, Nikki Haley has made a bit of history again, becoming the first prominent woman of color to seek the Republican nomination. Is she, though? Is she? Because she's posing as white. With Vice President Kamala Harris presumed to be President Joe Biden's running mate if he announces a second run. Holy shit. As he said he will, it's possible that both major political parties in America could simultaneously have a woman on their ticket for the first time. And boy, would they love that. And both would be South Asian, specifically of Indian descent, which observers call it a massive feat considering the community makes up about 1% of the country's population and produced two recent political stars. Is Kamala Harris a political star? I don't know. Is Nikki Haley a political star? I mean, she literally just got here in terms of, like, people knowing who she was. Like, nobody knew who she was before she ran. I mean, maybe the people of South Carolina, but the American population at large, like, I didn't know who the hell Nikki Haley was. So I don't know if that makes her a star. Continuing on. This is absolutely a moment, which... This is ABC News, so imagine them like freaking out about diversity and DEI and all that. Two women of color being in the national spotlight. You know they just like had a field day. This is absolutely a moment. Sarah Sadwani. I hope I said that right. An assistant professor of politics at Pomona College and co-author of the Indian American Election Survey. I thought it was native. No, never mind. It is Indian because they're from the country of India. Okay. This political correctness shit is it's way too hard to follow up with it and continue on. Just try to be like in accordance with all the time. Anyway, she told ABC News, we see South Asians who have largely been on the outskirts of American politics in many ways. Fun fact, I am 2% South Asian. That's right. So in a way, I'm a person of color too. I got the 23andMe back. Both of my parents, a little tiny percentage of South Asian. So does that make me a person of color? You know? Am I a person of color? I don't know. I never even thought about that. So, like, if I'm a person of color, like Nikki Haley, what words am I allowed to say? Because, like, is she allowed to say the slurs? Because she's technically a person of color, just like Kamala. Is she allowed to say the N-word? Because she's not technically black. She's South Asian. Is she allowed to say, like, the N? I don't know. I'm not going to say it. But I don't know. Anyway, this is a moment where we're seeing South Asians step into the limelight. The representation began at the national level more than half a century ago when Dalip Singh saw, who the hell is coming up with these names, led a push to change immigration laws so he and other Indians could become citizens. He then became the first Asian American, first South Asian, and first Sikh in Congress in 1956. There are now 5 South Asians in Congress, often referred to as the Samosa Caucus. Here's the problem with all this, okay? Mind you, I don't care about the ethnicity of anybody running for president or that's in Congress. But when we start referring to people as their ethnic groups and, like, recognizing them just for their ethnic groups and, like, what percentage of whatever they are compared to the quality of, like, their character and, like, actual policy. Like, the people at ABC News and CNN, MSNBC would throw up in, like, just, like, excitement if they throw up in excitement at this because they see, oh, person of color, woman of color, 2 women of color that could possibly be, like, running for president. What? They don't know what to do. They're both checking the boxes, but, like, what is your policy? Who cares about what race, what gender, whatever box you check? Like, what is your policy? I do not know Nikki Haley's policy because this is all they talk about is color and representation and checking the box on whatever ethnic background you have. Like, I do not care. I personally think Nikki Haley is obnoxious. Is that because I'm sexist? Couldn't tell you. But do I know anything about policy? No. Have I made time to watch the debates? No. Once again. Do I know anything about Kamala Harris? Yes, I know too much. I know she likes to laugh in uncomfortable situations, and she speaks as though she has a book report and she didn't read the book, and she's just bullshitting everything. And she kind of, like, summarized it the night before, but she doesn't really know. And that's what these 2 people are. These 2 women in politics are for me. I don't like either of them, really. Continuing on. Let's see. Since 2016, what a year, We've quintupled our representation in Congress. I don't want to hear about this anymore. I don't care. I do not care about representation in Congress from any race, ethnic group. I don't care. Hold on. We're gonna come back to something because I just kept scrolling down on this article, but like this is kind of funny. So right here is a picture of Nikki Haley, and it is with a bunch of Indian men. And I believe it's in the country of India by the architecture in the background. A bunch of Indian men wearing the turbans. And the one man has a sword. Let's click on this. Am I allowed to click on this? Save image as. Let's click on this. Alrighty. So right here, okay, this is a picture, this is an image of Nikki Haley. And she is with these group of men all wearing turbans. And you know this is like the only time she's worn like an Indian headdress and in the Indian clothes and stuff like that. And you know she's doing it just to check the box. Just to get these people, oh look, I'm ethnically diverse. Bullshit. Look at this. So she's with a bunch of Indian men in the country of India, I'm assuming, wearing turbans. The one guy's got a sword. I don't know what that's for. She's with her husband. You know he doesn't practice. He's wearing a suit. Like, she's. It looks like we're gonna zoom on this more because you know what she's doing. You know what Nikki Haley's doing. You know she doesn't wear this. Look at this. She even has the thing in the center. You see that? She even has the thing. I'll zoom in even more for the viewers here. Look. She's even wearing the center thing that the people in India wear, the women in India wear on the right here, you know, between the eyebrows. Here's why I'm not a fan of this. And it's not what you would think. Here's why I'm not a fan. Because you know she's doing it just to exploit the religion, just for political gain. I've never once seen Nikki Haley wear like the traditional Indian headdress in the gowns or whatever the clothing is. I don't want to be disrespectful to the culture in India, but like you know she's doing this for political exploitation, just to garner up votes and say, hey, oh look at me, I'm diverse. Look, this is the first time I've ever seen her fold her hands ever in any prayer reverence thing. Like, look at this, bro. What are you doing? This isn't you. This isn't who you are. Who's calling me? Spam. This isn't who you are. I've never seen you do this once before this. Only because now you are the only other alternative to Donald Trump that's running. That is the only reason. This is so fake. This is so fake. You can see it. Look at this. So what are you doing? What are you doing? It says right here, so South Carolina Governor Nikki Haley among her husband, Michael Haley, at the Golden Temple in Amritsar, India. I hope I pronounced that right. It's just, and they all have they're all like barefoot. And it's like, that you know this is the one time she has dressed up in anything from India. I'm sorry, but she is full of shit. She's full of shit. I'm not a fan, man. I'm not a fan of Nikki Haley at all. At all. And now time to talk about Dirty Don. He had a little bit of controversy. So the other remaining Republican presidential candidate, Donald Trump, had something going on, man. So he had this thing, and nobody really knows what it is. I don't really care, personally. But Trump had this thing where he had a picture and he like waved. And I don't know what it is. Nobody really knows what it is. But he had like these red marks on his hand. And there were people that were like saying, oh, I think he has syphilis. What? Other people were saying there were like burns. Nobody knows. Some people said they solved it. And it's like, oh, he has syphilis. Nobody knows. I don't really think it matters. Somebody said, I think Ben Shapiro said, yeah, I think it's a burn. And I think it's a burn from like smoking a cigar or something. So we're going to play this right now. And we're going to see. Because this is kind of interesting to me. How much like the media freaked out. Mostly left-wing media. Because these people, CNN, MSNBC, ABC, whatever, everybody that's like left-leaning to an extent, they've been losing so much money because they can't talk about Trump because Trump is not the president. So now that he's running again and it's like confirmed, they're fine. They're like chomping at the bit to talk about this man because they're making so much money now because of all the Trump hate. Past 4 years, past 3.5 years, they really haven't been able to do that because Trump hasn't been in the spotlight. Their guy got in, and the country's going to shit, and so now they're finally talking about Trump, and they're making the money again. So here we go. The mystery of Trump's red hand has been solved. That's what this video is saying. Anonymous sources told TMZ that the splotchy red markings on the former president's hand were caused by blood from a common paper cut. Huh. Interesting. The marks, which caused a frenzy of speculation, first came to light after Trump was photographed leaving New York City courtroom on January 17th. I like this background music. Where he is facing allegations of defamation by magazine writer E. Jean Carroll. Internet sleuths originally ventured many theories, ranging from a rash caused by golf club grip. The mark seemed to vanish when Trump was photographed later that day. Huh. His hands were also mark-free the next morning when he was attending his wife's mother's funeral. Huh. That's interesting. Bro, I don't know. I call him Dirty Don. It's funny. I wouldn't even call myself like a Trump supporter, more so, but I'm not a Trump supporter. I don't live and die with him like so many other people do. But I'm a fan. I am a diehard fan, that's for sure. I would not call myself a supporter, but I am a Trump fan. Through and through, however that phrase goes. I can't wait to watch him debate. I hope he debates Biden. Because Nikki Haley's not winning, let's be honest. 27 minutes in talking about Nikki Haley. Nikki Haley's not going to win. I don't think she's going to win. There's no way she's going to win. But Dirty Don, man. If he debates Biden, that'll be fun. I can't wait. It's going to be a hell of a time if he does debate Biden. We'll see. I don't know. Anyway, there's another story I kind of wanted to talk about. There's this female comedian who... No, I don't want to do that. There is this female comedian. Her name is Natasha Leggero. And she... This is kind of crazy. So there's this female comedian. Her name's Natasha Leggero. And she basically took off her top at a comedy show when she was doing a comedy show in Los Angeles, and she took off her top and started doing stand-up. So her move shocked the audience. So let's read about it. So, Comedian Natasha Leggero has always been popular for going beyond the ordinary. This time, the 50-year-old comedian surprised everybody with what she pulled off at her latest show. She casually removed her fur coat and her top, and she started her show topless. What? During her show at the Hollywood Improv in Los Angeles, Natasha Leggero got on stage in a fur coat, a white blouse, and blue overalls. But she did not come off the stage with all of that clothing on. As she was about to begin her show, she took off her coat and tossed it into the crowd. She proceeded to undo the straps of her overalls and remove her blouse as well. The crowd elicited a mixed response. While some were shocked, others cheered her on for her unexpected move. Natasha Leggero shared pictures of her getting topless on stage on Instagram. She wrote, "Bert took off his shirt, so I did too. Bert took off his shirt, so I did too. Improv said not to post, but TMZ already did, so F it." Should female comics be able to do the same things as male comics? Because I've also been thinking about trying to F my opener. Her post fetched over 48K likes. Ooh. Reacting to the post, one fan said, TMZ refers to yours as a striptease, but I've never once seen that said about Bert's act. A second fan wrote, serious questioning, why is it okay for a man to take his top off but not a woman? Well, a third fan commented, this is performance art and I am here for it. Natasha Leggero shared another post with two pictures. One of the pictures showed her topless, and the other showed Bert Kreischer top. I cannot talk, holy shit. Natasha Leggero shared another post with two pictures. One of the pictures showed her topless and the other one showed Bert Kreischer shirtless. That post has received over 38,000 likes. The comedian proceeded to continue the show after being topless. She said, if the boys can do it, why can't the girls? Well, because you have two girls right here. For the people that are just listening on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, I'm referring to the breasts. Bert Kreischer, he had male breasts, but Natasha Leggero has actual breasts. I think that's what people are like saying. Me personally, I could not give two shits. This does not affect me at all. After Leggero finished her performance, comedian Bert Kreischer got on stage shirtless. So I guess she was opening for him. Well, that's interesting. Huh. There's nothing else in this article. Huh. Man, I don't know. I don't know how you go about this. Am I for equal rights? I guess. I don't know. If I was at a comedy show, me personally, I mean, look, Natasha Leggero, she's been a part of like a lot of like the Comedy Central roasts. I'm pretty sure she was at the roast of, I think it was Snoop Dogg. It might have been Alec Baldwin, but she was one of the she was on the panel for one of those. I know who she is. I mean, I guess she's a good looking I don't know. I would personally feel weird if I was a woman. If I was a woman, fellas, like, if you were a woman, if you woke up one day and you just had tits, not like man tits, but like if you were a woman and you had tits, what would you do? I wouldn't leave the house. I would just, you know, I would just jiggle them. Like, I don't know. I would jump like up and down, you know. I wouldn't know what to do, you know. I don't know. I do not know. So I don't really have an opinion on this. I mean, cool, good for her, I guess. It's definitely different though. It's most definitely different if you're a girl and you take your shirt off versus guy. And I think it's just because like the nipple. I think it's because like just like the nipple and like the. The female breast is a sexual thing in our society, in our culture, that we've built up as something that shouldn't be for the public eye. But then you see statues in like Rome, for example, or like statues in Europe, and their art in the statues has like the breast exposed, but it also has the penis exposed. But they just thought of sexuality different back then, I guess. Somebody told me this week we were one of the prudest countries in the world. I don't know. I just think that it'd make me feel uncomfortable personally if, like, I saw somebody, a woman, out. It did actually make me. I saw this before. My family goes on like summer vacations all the time, right? And we were driving. We went to the New England states, and so we went to Portland, Maine, one year as part of our summer vacation for the New England states. And so there was a protest. I might have been 5th or 6th grade. So this is back in, if I was like 10, 11, this is like 2010. And there was like this protest. We were on like a bus tour of Portland, Maine. And we were going through Portland. Whatever, it was really cool. We got on this bus for like 2-3 hours. We were on this tour. And there was a riot. Not a riot, more like a protest. But I remember it was this block of the city. It was like at the town square. And we drove past it. We were at a red light, so we were stopped for a second. And I got to see. and it was like this protest. All these people had signs. It was a good 100 people, and they had like really loud speakers. I couldn't make out the music, but there was this one particular chick who was shirtless and standing on top of like the fountain structure, just, you know, holding the sign, protesting something. I remember sunglasses were on, she had shorts, and then she had no shirt, and didn't have very much boobage, but she was shirtless, and it was like, I felt uncomfortable, not gonna lie. But then we left and it was fine, but I'll just always remember I was like uncomfortable, and I was like 10. I don't know. So I don't know how to view this. I really don't have an opinion. I'm trying hard to have an opinion for social media and the clicks, but I just don't. So good for her, I guess. Good for her. I mean, I don't know. She's 50. Does she have any kids? Probably not. If you're taking your shirt off in front of people on stage at 50 as a woman, I mean, there's a reason she's still opening, right? There's a reason she's still opening. If she's 50 years old, was she at a comedy club? Okay, she was at the Improv. So I don't know. Maybe she wasn't opening for Bert Kreischer. It was just like the slate of comedians, and she just happened to be before Bert. That's probably what it was. Because she's world renowned. I mean, I know who she is. I don't know. I don't have an opinion. I don't really have anything else to talk about, really. It's a slow news cycle, per se. I wish Dirty Don nothing but luck. I still don't know if I would vote for him if it came down to him and Biden. But I don't think I'd vote for Biden either. It's probably going to be RFK. But, yeah. So we get a new episode on Thursday coming out with my friend Austin Brown. He actually went to the Iowa caucuses and met Nikki Haley. And he even met Eric Trump, too. So we're going to talk about that. And I think you guys are going to enjoy this episode that's coming up. But as always, fellas, and female fellas as well, if there are any that are watching to this point. I appreciate everybody's continued support. You know, just I started playing basketball again, and had people say, you know, I'll check your podcast out. So I appreciate it. People coming up to me saying, oh yeah, you know, I love that you're still doing this. And of course, why wouldn't I? This is awesome. So that's it. Gonna be back into doing stand-up pretty soon. Got an event. We're gonna get some content out of this event with a couple comedians I'm a part of coming up. So yeah, you just gotta have to watch out and see, because it's gonna be quite exciting. I'm very excited for the next couple episodes that are coming out in particular, but just the next couple months overall in terms of like comedy and like what I'm gonna be a part of. I think you're all gonna enjoy it, man. So shout out to Natasha Leggero, doing her thing, showing the tits. I really don't have an opinion. I mean, it's whatever. It's not affecting me. So I hope everybody has just a great day overall. Take care of yourselves and make sure that your butthole doesn't bleed like mine. And definitely don't get AIDS. We'll see ya.